Hey, and welcome to our first episode of Dragon Age Origins. Like I said in the ending of my Mass Effect 3 video, the Dragon Age series is also created by bioware. And just like Mass Effect, Dragon Age has currently 3 games as well, which are all connected. It starts with Dragon Age Origins, then it's Dragon Age 2. I don't think Dragon Age 2 has a very specific name. And then you have Dragon Age Inquisition. I've seen gameplay of Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, and I've only seen the intro of Dragon Age Inquisition, but I've never personally played them myself, so I don't know how this whole game works really. I also don't really remember the story of Dragon Age a whole lot, so this will be like a semi-blind playthrough. I'm also using some mods for our Dragon Age Origins playthrough, and one of them I'll introduce a bit later in the game. But the other one is that I have a mod to be able to open up chests on my own without really needing to be a rogue or have a rogue in your party, because I think that's necessary in Dragon Age Origins, that you need to be able to have a rogue to be able to open up chests. And I don't think I will play as a rogue, I'm not sure yet. I mainly did this because I really like collecting stuff, and I thought it was also nice for you guys to see what's in the chest instead of being like, oh man, she can't open it, you know. I thought it was just nice to just see what's in it, you know, like what's in the box. I also have all of the DLCs for Origins installed, so we can explore all of them as well. But I think that's enough for now for the intro. So let's get into the game itself. Let's start a new game. Here we go. And then Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age Awakening is one of the DLCs that we will probably play last, if I remember correctly. I could be completely wrong. I don't really remember, like I said in the intro. And so is the golden city blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world.
The chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption.
How did they get corrupted?
They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn.
Darkspawn? What's that exactly?
They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation.
Ooh, what are those big rock thingies? I think there's a name for them, I'm not completely sure.
Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed.
Ooh. What's the point of the Darkspawn attacking civilization?
It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long.
Ooh, someone behind.
It may even be too late. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon.
A storm?
Maker, help us all.
Is a storm brewing? Oh, it looks like there's fire as well. The background you select will determine which of the 6 distinct opening stories you play through. It also affects how characters respond to you throughout the game. Okay, so we can choose our gender, either male or female. And it says men and women in Ferelden are generally regarded as equals. Both genders are evenly represented in most organizations, noble houses, and military forces. That's interesting to hear, so there's no like sexism going on, so to say, like a female can become a knight and a male can become a cook, so to say. Then we have race, we have human beings, elf, and dwarf. Human, the most numerous yet most divided of all the races. Only 4 times have they ever united under a single cause, the last being centuries ago. Religion and the chantry play a large part in human society. It distinguishes them culturally from elves and dwarves more than anything else. Humans can be warriors, rogues, or mages. They have a racial benefit which gives them 1 strength, 1 dexterity, 1 magic, and 1 cunning. The elves, once enslaved by humans, most elves have all but lost their culture, scrounging in an improvised living in the slums of human cities. Only the nomadic Dalish tribes still cling to their traditions, living by the bow and the rule of their old gods as they roam the ancient forest, welcome nowhere else. Elves can be warriors, rogues, or mages. And they also have a racial benefits of 2 willpower and 2 magic. And then we have dwarf, which is rigidly bound by caste and tradition. The dwarves have been waging a losing war for generations, trying to protect the last stronghold of their once vast underground empire from the Darkspawn. Dwarves are very tough and have a high resistance to all forms of magic, thus preventing them from becoming mages. They have a racial benefit of +1 strength, +1 dexterity, +2 constitution, and 10% chance to resist hostile magic. That's interesting. So, like they said in the opening, they said that the dwarves used to have a very fast underground cities and like civilization going on, but because of the Darkspawn that happened, most of it got destroyed by it. And I'm curious how much is left of the Dwarven Kingdom, or like where it even started to begin with. And then we also have different classes. We can be a warrior, a mage, or a rogue. Does it say specifically where the warrior is there? Warrior are powerful fighters focusing on melee and ranged weapons to deal with their foes. They can withstand and deliver a great deal of punishment and have a strong understanding of tactics and strategy. Specialization for a warrior include Berserker, Templar, Champion, and Reaver. And the class benefits gives them +4 strength, +3 dexterity, and +3 constitution. Then you got a magi or a mage. Does it say exactly? Wielding a power as dangerous as it is potent, you know that magic is a curse for those lacking the will to control it. You anxiously await your harrowing, the one chance to prove yourself against the demons lurking without and within. Succeed or be slaughtered by the knights who ward against your kind. So, from what it sounds like here, people who are mages or have magic, they're kind of looked down upon, like they are looked upon like they're very dangerous. And then for rogue, it says rogues are skilled adventurers who come from all walks of life. All rogues possess some skill in picking locks and spotting traps, making them valuable assets to any party. Technically, they are not ideal frontline fighters, but if rogues can circle around behind their target, they can backstab to devastating effect. Rogue specializations are Ranger, Bard, Duelist, and Assassin. A class benefits of +4 dexterity, +2 willpower, and +4 cunning. And it looks like you also have different classes here. So if you want to become a warrior, you can become... Well, if you want to become a human warrior, you can choose from a human noble, which a human noble is born to wealth and power, second only to royalty. You find your training in both diplomacy and battle put to the test as your brother leads the bulk of your family's forces to war in the south. And Magi, I think we read already. And if you want to be a human rogue, it's the same as well. If you want to be an elf warrior, you can be either a Dalish elf, which are proud of their role as one of the few true elves. You have always assumed you would spend your life with your tribe until a chance encounter with a relic of your people's past threatens to tear you away from everything you have ever known. And you can be a city elf, which you have always lived under the heavy thumb of your human overlords. But when the local lord claiming his privilege with the bride shatters your wedding day, the shimmering racial tension explodes in a rain of vengeance. So the Dalish elves claim that they are the true elves left, compared to the city elves who live in human cities. So there's like a cultural difference between the two. That's interesting. But it also looks like elves are kind of being disrespected, and like they almost look like they are like slaves to human beings. And then you also have elf mage, which is the same as the human mage, I think. Yeah. And the rogue, you can also be either a elf rogue of a Dalish elf rogue or a city elf rogue. And then for dwarves, you can't be a mage because it said they were they have a high resistance to all forms of magic. And so you can either be a dwarf commoner, which you are born in castless in a land where rank is everything. As the lackey and the fuck of a social crime lord, you have spent your life invisible until chance thrusts you into the spotlight, where you can finally prove whether you will be defined by your actions or your birth. And then you have Dwarven Noble, which as the the favored child of the Dwarven King, you proudly take up your first military command, only to learn that the deadly intrigues of family and sycophants may pose a greater danger than even the battlefield. So it sounds like if you are a commoner, you are kind of looked down upon, perhaps, like you're castless. In a land where rank is everything. So I'm guessing that if you are noble, that's the highest rank you can get. But if you don't have that rank, you're looked upon as castless, perhaps? Interesting. I'm thinking of becoming a female dwarf who is a warrior and born into a Dwarven Noble class. Let's try that out.
Greetings.
And now we have character creation, it looks like. I will quickly look around and I could do like a little speed run for you guys of what I'm gonna create perhaps. So I'll be right back. There we go, so we created a character. I think I'm gonna call her Amethyst, because I feel like it would be a nice name. Because it has to do with like stones or gems. And also like our background is purple and our amethyst is purple. So I thought it was like a nice thing. Okay, let's go next. And then we have attributes. So we have strength, dexterity, willpower, magic, cunning, and constitution. And strength measures a character's physical prowess and directly affects the damage a character deals in physical combat. It also contributes to the accuracy of melee attacks. High strength is essential for warriors, in particular if they wish to wield two-handed weapons, and is nearly as critical for rogues. So strength is both important for rogues and warriors. And then dexterity is a measure of agility, reflexes, and balance. Higher dexterity improves a character's chances to hit, makes the character more likely to dodge incoming blows, and contributes to the damage dealt by piercing weapons like daggers or arrows. Archery and dual weapons fighting styles demand high dexterity to master, making this attribute a favor for rogues. We have willpower, which represent a character's determination and mental fortitude. With high willpower, mages can cast more spells thanks to a deeper mana pool. For warriors and rogues, willpower grants them more stamina for combat techniques and special attacks. Then we have magic, which I imagine is mostly for mages. Magic is a measure of a character's natural affinity for the arcane. This attribute is crucial for mages since it directly increases a character's spell power score, which determines the potency of all spells. The magic attribute also determines how effective potions poultices, and salves are for all classes. Then we have cunning. Here we go. Cunning determines how well a character learns and reasons. Most skills, such as herbalism or combat tactics, require a quick mind to master. And an observant eye can more easily find weaknesses in enemy armor. Rogues benefit most from this statistic, as many of their class abilities and special attacks rely on subtlety or reading the target, not raw strength. And then we have Constitution, which represents health and resilience. High Constitution directly increases the amount of damage a character can take before falling on the battlefield. I think the best for our class is to put some points at least in Strength and perhaps Cunning, because I feel like it would be very important for perhaps combat tactics or require a quick mind. There we go. Then we have skills: coercion, stealing, trap making, survival, herbalism, poison making. We already have 2 points in combat training and 1 point in combat training and 1 point in improved combat training. And we have combat tactics, which the character can formulate strategies quickly in battle and consequently gains a combat tactics slot. For poison making, the character has survived the difficult learning process of making simple poisons and grenades. And then we have herbalism. The character can make simple poisons, poultices, and salves from common herbs. Survival, the character can detect the presence of nearby creatures below the character's own level. This skill also grants a small bonus to nature's resistance. Trap making, the character has learned to construct basic traps and lures out of common components. Stealing, the character is quick enough to pilfer small items from others, whether friendly or hostile, as long as they are not too alert. And we have coercion, which the character is influential enough to convince others to change their views. Strength contributes to a more intimidating character, whereas cunning contributes for a more persuasive character. I think like coercion is a good one to start off with skills, so let's get that. And then we can have warrior, which you either have powerful and precise striking, which powerful through training and hard work, the warrior has gained greater health and reduced the fatigue penalty for wearing armor. And precise striking is the warrior tries to make each attack count, sacrificing attack speeds for a bonus to attack as well as an increased chance to score critical hits for as long as this mode is active. Then you have dual weapon, which you can have dual weapon training, dual striking, and dual weapon sweep. Which dual weapon training is the character has become more proficient fighting with 2 weapons and now deals closer to normal damage bonus with the offhand weapon. Dual striking is when in this mode, the character strikes with both weapons simultaneously. Attack costs more damage, but the character cannot inflict regular critical hits or backstabs. And then dual weapon sweep. The character sweeps both weapons in a broad forward arc, striking nearby enemies with one or both weapons and inflicting significantly more damage than normal. Then we have archery. Melee archer, which experience fighting in tight quarters, has taught the archer to fire without interruption, even when being attacked. Then you have archery pinning shot. which a shot to the target's legs disables the foe, pinning the target in place unless it passes a physical resistance check, and slowing movement speed otherwise. And we have Rapid Shot, which speed wins out over power while this mode is active, as the archer fires more rapidly but without any chance of inflicting regular critical hits. Master Archer increases the rate of fire further still. Then you have Weapon and Shield, which we already have a point in Shield Bash, which the character's shield bashes a target, dealing normal damage, as well as knocking the target off of its feet unless it passes a physical resistance check. Shield Mastery doubles the strength bonus for this attack. And Shield Pummel, is what we can get next after it, is the character follows up on an attack with 2 hits from the shields, dealing normal damage with each attack. If the target fails a physical resistance check, it is stunned. Shield Mastery doubles the character's strength bonus for each strike. You have Shield Defense. While this mode is active, the character drops into a defensive stance that favors the shield, gaining a bonus to defense and increased chance to shrug off missiles attacks, but taking a penalty to attack with shield balance. The attack penalty is reduced. With Shield Expertise, the defense bonus increases. With Shield Mastery, the defense bonus increases further. And then you have Shield Block, which practice fighting with a shield improves the character's guard. Enemies can no longer flank the character on the shield carrying side. And then we got Two-Handed, which you have a Pommel Strike. Instead of going for the fatal attack an enemy expects, the player strikes out with a weapon blunt's end, knocking the opponents to the ground unless it passes a physical resistance check. And then you have Sunder Arms. The character's attempts to hinder target's ability to fight back rather than going directly for a killing blow. Unless the target passes a physical resistance check, it suffers a penalty to attack for a short time. And Mighty Blow. The character puts extra weight and effort behind a single strike, gaining a bonus to attack. If it hits, the blow deals critical damage and imposes a penalty to movement speed unless the target passes a physical resistance check. So it looks like Two-Handed is not the same as a dual weapon, where you would feel like, because it is dual, right? So you have you use both hands for it, but apparently it's not the same. What should I put my talents in? So I think I like the sound of both Warrior and Two-Handed the most. I think I'm gonna put a point in Mighty Blow. And then perhaps also a point in Powerful from Warrior. There we go. Please select the difficulty level. We can do normal, easy, hard, or nightmare. Let's just keep it at normal. There we go.
Deep beneath the Frostback Mountains sits Orzammar, the larger of 2 known remaining Dwarven cities in the world.
Only 2 are remaining?
Orzammar was once the seat of a major empire connected by tunnels called Deep Roads, which stretched thousands of miles. The city now stands alone, cut off from the rest of the Dwarven ancestral lands by the Darkspawn incursion. Secure in Orzammar's impregnable construction, the Dwarven Noble houses continue their centuries-old power struggles. Assassination and blackmail are commonplace, but the appearance of honor is paramount. You are the 2nd child of King Endren of House Aeducan, the 9th Aeducan ruler elected by the Noble Assembly. You grew up in a world rife with political intrigue, and have struggled against brothers and cousins for honor and prestige. Today, a feast celebrates your first military commission, the opening move towards real power in the ever-changing game of Dwarven politics.
Greetings, my lady. You are dressed and ready. Excellent.
Who are you?
I couldn't find the armor's matching dagger, but I scrounged up a rather fancy longsword. Do you wish to wear your shield to the noble's feast?
Do I wish to wear my shield? Yes. Let them see me as a warrior.
As opposed to the paragon of beauty?
Does this guy have a crush on us? Kinda looks like it. We've been down this road. Gorim, let it go. Oh, so his name is Gorim?
I know. Lesser family and all that. Moving on to the business at hand. The king expects you to make an appearance at the feast, but there's no rush. The noble family heads will spend hours boring your father with petitions and petty grievances.
What sort of grievances?
The usual. This lord had my cousin killed, this lord seduced my wife, this lord did the exact thing I'd planned to do to him, but he did it first. They pose and bluster, and each pretends he is the honorable man in a den of thieves and assassins. Bah. The rest is worth seeing, though. As part of the celebrations, permits have been auctioned off to members of the merchant caste who wish to sell wares in the Diamond Quarter. Lord Harrowmont has also opened up the provings for young warriors to test their mettle before tomorrow's battle. Rumor has it that Harrowmont hopes you'll be swept off your feet if a well-placed young nobleman wins the provings in your honor.
Perhaps I'll go win the proving myself.
Win the proving in your own honor? That would be most interesting. Shall we then?
I would like to see these merchants first.
With you as always, my lady. The day is ours until the feast.
So his name is Gorim? I wonder what he is to us. Can we talk with him?
My lady?
Tell me more about your family, Gorim.
Not much that you don't already know. My father's father was a great hero of the Deep Roads excursions and raised the family to the top of the warrior caste. He was even nominated to join the assembly and found a noble house, but the honor was in the nomination. He wasn't afforded a single vote. My father served your father for many years, and now I serve you.
Ah, I see. So they're kind of like our knights, as like a knight to a king would be. Are you excited about the battle tomorrow?
Yes, I yearn to face the Darkspawn and prove my worth as your second.
Will be spectacular.
May the stones support us, and the ancestors look down with pride.
We should get going.
As you will.
So we have a new quest. How can we see that? Is it up here? We have character record, spell and talents, skills, inventory, journal, map, tactics, and we can change our party if we want to. Let's look at our journal. So in Noble's Feast, visit the merchants or watch the provings. Your father, King Endrin, has arranged for a feast to celebrate your appointment as Orzamar's newest commander. However, you have several hours before your father will be ready to represent you to the other nobles. You may visit the merchants who have set up shop in the Diamond Quarter or watch the provings that are being held in your honor. The proving grounds are one tier down from the Diamond Quarter in the Commons. I see. Okay, so we have current quest, completed quest, codexes, conversation history. Oh, that's handy. And downloadable content, which these are all the things that we can do later on. Let's take a look at some of the codexes. So we have culture and history, Orzamar's politics, As dangerous as it is to mistake a dwarf caste, it is far more deadly to mistake his alliances among the noble houses of Orsamar. Everyone in the city is allied with someone, whether by blood or by word. The nobles do not engage directly in commerce themselves, as that is the domain of the merchant caste, but they do serve as patrons. They invest in shops or in artisans' work, and in turn reap a share of the profits as well as a measure of the credit. Merchants and warriors alike benefit from the service of a prestigious patron. The relative power of each house is ever changing. It is usually safe to assume that whichever noble holds the throne is at the top of the heap, but below that things grow into a tangled mess. Below that houses ally with one another by marriage. They can earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them, or from their own bloodlines when provings. They earn it when artisans they patronize become sought after or well regarded, or when the merchants they invest in become successful. The degree of power that these achievements confer is so murky, even to the dwarves, that it isn't unusual for nobles to challenge each other to provings over whose smith forges better belt buckles or whose servants have the best manners. Nor is it out of the ordinary to find two merchants arguing over whose noble patron has won the most acclaim, for the rank of the patron is the rank of the client. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the assembly, where the Desers, representative of each noble house, meet. Although the king technically rules Orzammar, kings are elected by the assembly, and so each king must work constantly to maintain the support of the Desirs. Kings who prove unpopular find their heirs deemed unacceptable to inherit the throne. Power then passes to another house. This is from In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genevieve. Interesting. So there's like a whole system going on between the dwarven politics. And also like normally when you are king, it's because of family, right? So they're not really chosen, it's just based on royalty. But here in Orzammar, it's a bit different. If you are unpopular, they can easily throw you out and be like, we want a different king. That's what it sounds like, at least, so far. That's interesting. And then we have Dwarven Faith. We are the children of the stone. She supports us, shelters us, offers us the most priceless gift of the earth. They are worthy return to her embrace and death, becoming ancestors. The unworthy are cast out, unable to rest, that their failings may not weaken the stone. So it has been since the earliest memories. We will live by the stone, guided by the ancestors, who speak with the voice of the provings, and whose memories the Shaper keeps forever in Lyrium. What's Lyrium? We do not accept the empty promises of heaven as the wild elves do, or vie for the favor of absent gods. Instead, we follow into the footsteps of our paragons, the greatest of our ancestors, warriors, craftsmen, leaders, the greatest examples of life spent in service to our fellow dwarfs. Our paragons joined with the stone in life, and now stand watch at our gate, ushering in those surfacers privileged to visit our city. We know there is no greater honor to hope for, no better reward for an exceptional life. as told by the Shaper, Xebor. So it sounds like that Dwarven faith is more about what the ancestors did, and they follow the rule of the stone? Or they are the children of the stone? That sounds interesting. Perhaps there's some more about that later. We have notes from Feast Day Gifts, which looks like it's just credit scenes. And then we have Feast Day Pranks, which is also just the credit scenes. Okay. Then we have controls. Controlling party members. A new party member has joined you. You can take control of this character directly by left-clicking on his portrait or body. Alternatively, you can use the tactics menu, which is a slash, I think. It kind of looks like a weird N, but I think it's the slash, to adjust how the AI controls them. And then we have exploration. Use W and Shift A, S and Shift D keys to explore the world. Alternately, right-click on the ground to select a destination. Use your mouse wheel to zoom in or scroll forward for exploration and out or scroll backwards for tactical combat. In exploration mode, moving the mouse while clicking in the right button rotates the view. In tactical mode, clicking in the mouse wheel lets you pan across the screen. You can only pan until your party members are at the edge of the screen. Okay, sounds easy enough so far. Then we have the journal. Your journal, which you get by pressing J, tracks updates to your current objectives and records the results of prior exploits. This includes quests completed as well as codex entries that describe the world around you. At the bottom of the journal screen, the Make Active button lets you designate the quest you are currently working on, which activates arrows on the map and in the game world that directs you to the next point in the plot. Okay, I see. And then we have plot helpers, which plot helpers are markers on your current area map that indicate where you need to go to progress your active quest. Okay, so like basic stuff so far for the controls. I see. Do you have anything here? Oh, we do. Got some coins. Does it say what this is? Is it copper, perhaps? Or bronze? I'm not sure how the money works here. Ah, we got a new codex about the city of Orzammar from the crystal. Then we have a chest. We have a lesser health, poultice, and small grease trap, dagger, mace, maul, and short bow. Let's take it all. And we have something here, it looks like. The bust of Endrin.
Shall be done.
That's our dad, right? King Endrin the Aeducan. Anything else here? Oh, it doesn't look like it. So in the journal it said we can either visit the merchants or the provings. So let's find out where both are, actually. Can go here. Is anything here? We got a new codex from that, Orzammar's history. Okay. Got some royal guards. Can we talk with them?
I am at your service.
Okay.
I am at your service.
Oh, they both say the
service.
same thing. Is there anything in here, perhaps? Ah, it's locked? Oh, it says here, Trian's room. Who's Trian? Is it like a sibling of ours, perhaps? Anyone here?
Valen?
Oh!
Oh. Your Highness.
Who are you? Why is she running away from us? There's a pile
shall
of
be done.
books, which gave us more codexes. There's a letter.
Very well.
which is also in the new codex. Anything else? A chest. Ah yeah, that's our mod, by the way. It's a fancy face. Oh, you can take it, why not? And an armor. A Dwarven merchant's belt. Let's take it. Let's talk with the mistress.
I'm sorry. I thought you were Prince Balin coming down the hall. Forgive me.
Who's Prince Balin, exactly? Who are you?
She's, it seems she's one of your brother Balin's newest, companions.
Oh, so Balin
Prince
is
Balin
our brother?
is attending the feast being held in Lady Aeducan's honor.
Yes, of course. It was presumptuous of me to think that he would return to... I am sorry. I will show myself out. With your leave, my lady.
Yes, you may go.
Thank you. I will go now.
So, she was a mistress of our brother? Is the other guy's room perhaps also our brother's then? Trian was his name? Think? Because it looks like this is just like our house. I think. I'm not sure. Can we talk with him?
Ancestors watch over you, my lady.
Ah. Got some more
I am
royal
at your
guards
service.
here. Can we go in this room? No, it doesn't look like it.
Good day. No sign of trouble.
Ah, cleaning lady. Oh, can't talk with her. Can we go in here? There's another royal guard for us. Hello.
I am proud to serve the Aeducans.
I'm glad that you feel proud to serve us. Can we go in here? No, we need a key for that. What about here? What's here?
You sure you want to go to the feast now?
Ah, the feast
I doubt
is
we
there.
can escape to see the provings once we're inside.
You are right. Let's go to see the provings first.
I can't wait to see who's fighting today.
There we go. So the feast is there, so I'm guessing we have to go there later. Is there anything here?
Tomorrow will bring much glory.
Yes, it will. I don't know what's going on tomorrow, though. Maybe we will learn about it in a bit. What about you?
Congratulations on being named commander, my lady.
Ooh.
I am at your service.
So we're being named commander, but commander of what exactly? I'm curious about that. Got more royal guards?
I am at your service.
Your father has allowed the merchants to show their wares in the Diamond Quarter during these celebrations.
Oh, really?
My lady?
I think we
As you
did all
will.
of that. Yeah, so tomorrow we have like a battle going on against the Darkspawn, it said. Or like, Goran said, at least.
I'm sure we can
But
work
I
this
wonder
out
what it is
reasonably.
for.
It's in the records. There's nothing I can do.
Can we perhaps speak with them?
Please, Master Volney. My work is accredited by the Shaper.
These books are lies written by the enemies of House Volney.
I write only what I find in the ancient records. Lady Aeducan, you can vouch for my work, can't you? Your father loved my History of Aeducan, Paragon King, Peacemaker.
What's going on here exactly?
This worm has written a book that slanders my house.
What does it say?
It doesn't matter, it's all lies.
What exactly has he written, Brunton?
He says that Volney, the paragon who founded my house, known throughout the world as the greatest of men, was a fraud.
Not precisely. When the Assembly names a paragon, that man or woman is then, by definition, everything one can aspire to be in the world. They form their own noble houses and are revered as living ancestors. But paragons start off as men.
Volney was more than a man.
Do you know what Aeducan was like before he was a paragon?
Aeducan was much loved, but he was still a man. He was plagued by melancholy, and his fervor regarding Orzamar's safety bordered on obsession. When Aeducan was proposed as a paragon, Only one lord in the assembly objected. The others savagely hacked him to death. Aeducan's motion passed without a single dissenting vote.
Unlike Volney, is that what you mean, old man?
Volney became a paragon by the narrowest margin in history. One vote. A vote mired in rumors of intimidation, intrigue, and outright bribery. The records of that vote are kept in the Shaperate and are a matter of fact. Not liking history doesn't make it any less true.
The scholar is right.
You're taking his side? What if he published a book like this about your paragon Aeducan?
I feel like the truth is a bit more important than your pride.
You would not say so if it was your house, but I shall respect your wishes. For now, excuse me, your highness.
That fool has no idea how weak his house is or how low he sits in it. Shall I have him killed, my lady?
He is not worth a blade. Leave him be.
As you say.
You've shown House Aeducan a friend to research, history, and the glory of our people.
Carry on with your work, scholar.
Of course. I have much to document and organize. Good day, Your Highness. And thank you.
You are welcome. Anyone else we can talk with?
I'm at your service.
Just some more guards. Ooh, there's a merchant here.
The finest in home decorations!
Ooh.
But my lord, these are surface silks.
Oh, there's someone
Dyed
talking
in finest
here.
Saffron and indigo and embroidered by skilled elven tradesmen. I've seen Prince Balin Aeducan himself wearing a robe made of something quite similar.
So I pay your exorbitant price, only to end up looking like a poor imitation of Prince Balin. You'll get no coin from me.
But that's not what I meant, my lord. My lord!
Ancestors have risen her up to join them.
There's someone
You
talking
don't
here
think
as
she's
well.
still out there?
Impossible.
Who's still out there?
Did you see those noble hunters? Shameful.
Noble hunters?
The noble hunters are out in force, it seems.
What are noble hunters? Like someone who wants to kill the nobles? Let's speak with this merchant.
My lady Aeducan, you honor me by visiting my humble booth. May I show you my wares?
Of course, good merchant.
Please, look as you will.
So he's got a charm, a few noble clothing. Ooh, he's got a diamond, ruby, emerald, sapphire, malachite. Just a few nice gems. He's got us, an amethyst. Let's get it. Because why not? We just drag it. Oh, but we don't have enough money for it. I see. So it looks like you have gold, silver, and copper. I think that's copper. And so to be able to get an amethyst, we need 96 silver and 0 bronze. Or copper. But we only have 5 copper. No, that's sad. Is there anyone here, perhaps? It's just another guard. And a merchant here.
Nothing beats a good set of steel cutlery.
Our trust follow, big sister. How surprising to run into you out among the common folk.
Especially since duty requires that you attend our king father at the feast today.
Oh, that's our brothers.
Have you so little respect for him to disregard his wishes on a day set aside for you?
Lord Harrowmont told me we wouldn't be needed for hours at least.
Silence! If I want the opinion of my sibling's second, I will ask for it.
Yes, your highness.
Don't speak to Gorum like that.
I speak to lower houses and castes as they should be spoken to. Now do as I say.
Keep barking orders. I'm sure I'll care someday.
Your lack of a sense of duty to your house is obvious. I can't imagine why you are receiving a commission. I expect after tomorrow I'll spend much time apologizing to the heads of the noble houses for the deaths of their children under your incompetent command.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it, Trian?
Yeah.
As heir to the throne, it is my duty to impart wisdom and judgment upon those who need it. Now then, you, get to the feast.
I'll go when I'm ready.
Stubborn, aren't you? When I'm king, I will help you get over that. Come, Balin.
Yikes.
That was fun. Nothing like being talked down to by the next king.
I feel like he means well, perhaps.
You always defend him. I wish I had your understanding.
Our brother, Trian, kind of looks like an asshole. Balin, I'm not sure what to think of him yet. He didn't say a whole lot as of now. There's an armor
Lady
merchant.
Aeducan, nothing here rivals your amazing Aeducan armor, but if you wish something made...
You know very well House Aeducan has its own royal armorers.
Of course. Forgive me.
Tell me about your pieces.
Your Highness's legendary prowess is matched only by your kindness.
Can you tell me about the armor you make?
I buy only the finest iron ore, and personally oversee the armor's crafting by the most skillful of the smith caste.
Fascinating, thank you.
Of course, the honor was all mine.
Look at this piece, darling. It rivals even the work of the Paragon Smith herself.
Nonsense, woman. Your words bring shame upon our house. See how the edges are rough and pitted? Would you compare this to Branca's work? Trust a woman
Who's
to speak
Branca?
of things she doesn't understand. Be quiet now and pray the ancestors deliver Branca back safely.
No. So this Branca is lost, so to say?
What about that one?
I doubt he's up to the task. I'm not going down that road again. Would that Sir Blackstone were a noble, Stand up straight. They're coming.
Who are they?
Greetings, my lady. May I say you look striking today. Is this your paramour? He wears both his vambraces, unmarried and eligible.
I'm flattered, ladies, but I'm not a noble. I'm a knight of the warrior caste.
Warrior caste isn't bad.
Tally, we didn't pay gold for these permits to take warrior caste.
I guess you're right. Sorry, sir.
Are you two merchants of some kind?
Not exactly, my lady.
They're noble hunters, my lady.
Oh.
Because a man takes his caste from his father, they hope to bear a noble lord's son. If a noble hunter succeeds, she is raised up to join the house as a concubine to care for her son. It brings new swords to a house, so many nobles look favorably on such women.
I see. So they're trying to work their way up the system, in a way? By trying to marry or be a concubine to a nobleman? I bet they do.
Well, men will be men. Even your brother Balin has had his dalliances.
Perhaps you could tell him we're here?
Tally, mind your manners.
I'll think about it.
My lady is kind and generous beyond her duty.
Is anyone else?
So have you gone to watch the provings, my lady?
So they're trying to work their way up in the system, it looks like.
It is begun.
I can't blame them for it, you know? There's probably, the system is pretty harsh.
I shall do it.
From what I've read so far. Oh, there's someone here. It's not a
Invest
merchant.
in the next great trade expedition.
What about a bit here?
Greetings, my lady Aeducan. I am so honored to have you visit my booth. I have a proposition, but I dared not approach.
Yet you dare now.
It's alright, I'll hear him out.
Very well then, speak.
Yes, just so. Here's the thing. What I mean to say is...
It's alright.
Sorry. So nervous. I had a dagger made, for you, as a gift for your first command. Sent a messenger to deliver the dagger to you. Prince Trian had him thrown out. I don't know what offense he caused, but I had him beaten severely.
I'm sure Trian had his reasons.
Won't you at least look at the dagger?
I'll take a look, but no promises.
Of course. 1,000 thanks to you. Here it is, your highness.
That's an amazing piece, merchant.
You do me much honor, sir. The blade has been crafted over a period of 2 years by masters of every art. I wish to bless the lady's first command and hope that someday, when she rules, she will wear it.
Trian is heir. He will rule when King Endrin returns to the stone.
If the assembly wills it. Forgive me, sir, but whispers say the second child of Endrin will be chosen.
Whispers indeed. It's a princely gift. If Trian recognizes it, though, it may send the wrong message. Or the right one, depending on your view.
I'll take the dagger.
Thank you. You bring uncountable honor to me.
What he means is that you'll bring uncountable gold to him if you wear that piece in public.
Of course. Some kind of ad for him. Someone
Only
here.
the freshest food for your noble table.
Food. And there's another one here.
You are a treasure of House Aeducan, my lady.
Oh, that's sweet.
Most exotic wares in Orzammar.
And someone here.
Oh, Lady Aeducan, here, in my booth. I am so...
Is he okay?
He's fainted. You make quite the impression these days. Is it hard to be the king's child, never able to just blend in?
I am what the ancestors made me.
As are we all. Shall we move along?
Sure. Can we, like, send someone to him? He appears to be unconscious.
My lady, are you heading to the proving arena?
Yes, I intend to watch the provings.
We have been charged with the task of escorting you to the proving grounds.
I clean forgot about that. Forgive me, I should have informed you sooner. The king decided you were not to travel through the commons unguarded.
What? Why?
I did mention the merchants that won permits to show their goods in the Diamond Quarter. There were only so many permits auctioned off, and quite a few were turned away. Your father fears you will be harassed on the way to the proving.
Fair enough. This is silly, but I will comply.
Will we be leaving then?
Yes.
We are at your command.
So we're going to the provings. I wonder what it's about. Oh. So it's like an arena where you fight?
My lady?
Oh. He doesn't have anything to say about it. What about you?
Your Highness, it is an honor to have you here. Have you come to watch these brave warriors do battle in your honor?
No, I've come to fight.
Your Highness, this proving is in your honor.
Then honor her by doing as she says. Lady Aeducan will fight in this proving.
What shall we choose? I will honor today's warriors by testing their skills.
Of course, it is well within your rights. Men and women of Orzammar, we have a late entry to these provings, held on the eve of battle for the honor of House Aeducan. I give you the Lady Aeducan herself! Are you ready for your first match?
Of course.
Then let us begin!
Oh, wait.
This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Aeducan.
Perhaps I should have changed my weapons up a bit.
Lady Aeducan will fight
because I got some new
Alair
stuff.
Bimo, youngest son of Lord Bimo.
You honor me with this match.
The honor is mine.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Ooh, okay, so it's paused for now. Can I quickly look? Go to weapons. So we have the edge, noble's dagger, a normal dagger, another normal dagger, a mace, a maul, a dragon's bow, and a short bow. I think we chose for two-handed stuff. I think this fits it the best. It has more damage, less of a critical chance though, more armor penetration, and a bigger strength modifier. Let's try that out, perhaps. There we go. And this, is it already active or do we need to activate it? I think we have to activate it, so let's try it out. There we go.
The Paragon Beemo never lost a fight.
I think we're winning. There we go.
The winner is Lady Aeducan.
We did it. Before we go talk with him, I think we have to talk with him. I wanted to put this here so we have some health potions just in case. Do we speak with him?
That was quite a fight. Alair Beemo is no slouch with that hammer. Are you ready for your next opponent?
Who is my next opponent?
Adal Helmi, another female warrior and a tenacious fighter.
Good. It will be an interesting fight.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar.
I think we heard
Lady
this.
Aeducan will fight
Here we go.
Adal Helmi, eldest daughter of Lady Helmi.
You are my inspiration, Your Highness, and to all of us who follow your example and live by the sword.
Thank you, that means a lot.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Enemies of
Okay, so imagine just do the same, activate it, there we
approaching.
go.
Back.
Come on. And slice. Almost there.
No.
And there we go. Do we actually kill them?
The winner is Lady Aeducan.
I hope not. We did it again.
That was a crowd pleaser. I can't remember the last time we had two female warriors of such skill. Sir Blackstone is your next opponent. Are you ready to face him?
What can you tell me about Sir Blackstone?
One of the best of the warrior caste. He achieved glory in close combat assaults in the deep roads.
I am ready to fight.
Then let us begin. This is a glory. Lady Aeducan will fight Sir Blackstone, Deep Road squad leader of the warrior caste.
This is your education, child. Try to learn as you bleed.
Good luck to you.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Here we go. Let's target him again and put on the mighty blow.
Don't
there we
be a
go.
fool. If we must fight, let us do it quickly.
Almost there. There we go.
The winner is Lady Aeducan.
Let's talk with him again.
Well done. You have proven that even the best of the warrior caste cannot match a noble Aeducan. Franlin Ivo is your final opponent. He too has had many victories today. Are you ready to face him, or will you rest first?
Can you tell me anything about Franlin Ivo?
He is a decorated fighter who prefers unusual weapons and rarely fights with the same techniques twice.
House Ivo is relatively inconsequential, but Franlin may change that. He's expected to take a full command of his own soon.
Well, let me fight this Franlin Ivo too.
Very good. This is a glory proving. Fought under the watchful eyes of It is down to just 2 warriors. With backbones of stone and wills of iron, they have defeated all others this day. Lady Aeducan will fight Franlin Ivo, second son of Lord Ivo.
You fight well. I wish you glory today and glory tomorrow.
May you be as stone.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. The victor is champion. Fight!
Okay, let's do Mighty Blow again and target him. Oh, maybe I have to target first. There we go. Oh, it's quite strong.
Our skill has
There
won
we
the
go.
day.
The winner is Lady Aeducan.
You have to speak with him again? It looks like it.
Congratulations. Franlin Ivo is as fierce a competitor as I've ever seen. You vanquished every warrior of note in today's proving. The ceremonial helm, commissioned by your father for today's winner, is yours.
Send it to Franlin Ivo. He fought bravely.
The people will remember your honor and generosity for all time.
Oh, so we got our quest updated. Attend the feast. You have honored the proving fighters with your presence. Now it is time to attend the feast your father has planned for you. The feast is going to be held in the Great Hall of the Royal Estate. So I think that's back here.
My lady?
I am ready to leave.
Your wish is our command.
Here we go. I think it was back here, right? Was it here? No. It was where the guards were with like yellow names. Here, yeah. Here we go. And I think it was here. Let's go in here.
I shall do it.
Ah, here we go.
Look, the Grey
My Lady
Wardens are
Aeducan,
here. The
might I
raid
borrow-
tomorrow must be more than a standard mission. The Wardens only go where the Darkspawn are the greatest threat.
Ooh, the Grey Wardens are here. Oh, it's the guy from the cutscene here. Duncan is his name. Let's speak with Lord Ronus
Many
Days
thanks for your
first.
willingness to hear me out, my lady. I wish to speak to you of a matter most urgent.
Of course, Lord Days.
There is a vote coming before the Assembly next week. And a word from you could go a long way towards helping our cause.
What cause?
The vote concerns the status of the so-called surface caste. Lost to the stone, air-touched, and so forth. Centuries ago, narrow-minded men declared that any dwarf who left to live on the surface forfeited his caste, and his house if noble. That he was, in essence, no longer a dwarf. I seek only to remedy an injustice, to retie the bonds of anyone who can trace himself to one of the noble houses wherever he may live. Please, agree to speak for this noble cause.
So, dwarves who travel to the servers are no longer considered dwarves?
Let's be honest. I don't care a whit for those who have wandered from the stone. My wife, however, is a gem of a different color. She has a cousin, a useless sort, but she's quite fond of him. He joined a speculative venture to the surface, hoping to make his fortune, and went bust. Now he wishes to come home, but he cannot, for he has no house and would be castless. For my wife's sake, I take up his cause. Will you lend me your voice?
What do you need me to do?
When your father presents you to the noble houses, I will ask for your opinion on the matter. You have merely to say that you feel our surface brothers should be returned their noble rights. What could be more simple?
Fair enough, sounds easy enough, right? So we talk with Duncan?
Greetings, my lady Aeducan. It is an honor to meet you at last.
Greetings to you as well, Duncan. The honor is mine, Warden.
I have had the opportunity to recently meet with your father. He speaks highly of you. He says you may be the most skilled warrior in all of House Aeducan.
My father does me great honor.
I have no doubt it is deserved. We need more Grey Wardens like you, and quickly. Even as the Darkspawn weaken here in Orzammar, they are stirring on the surface. A blight has begun.
A blight?
Soon the fight must go beyond the deep roads, lest the Darkspawn threaten all the world.
I do not know as much as I should know about the Grey Wardens.
You know of our dedication to destroying the Darkspawn, our frontline presence during a blight. What else would you know?
Are there many of my people in the Grey Wardens?
Over the centuries, many dwarves have made names for themselves in our order. These days, however, there are fewer dwarves, and thus even fewer Dwarven Grey Wardens. A pity, since Dwarven warriors have the most experience fighting Darkspawn.
Could I join the Grey Wardens and still stay in Orzammar?
I'm afraid not. Grey Wardens go where they're needed most. Right now, that is on the surface at the ruins of Ostagar, where the human king gathers his armies to face the blight.
What does the joining entail?
Being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to your old life. It means dedicating yourself to destroying the Darkspawn.
But I am a Aeducan. Orzammar needs me here.
Then it is a good thing that you have other paths before you. Some are not so lucky. I wish you luck in the deep roads tomorrow. Show the Darkspawn the might of your people.
You're a fool.
I'm a fool? What?
Your mother would melt the stone if she knew what you just did.
What did I do? Excuse me?
Lord Dace is playing you false. Go ahead, be his puppet. Your first command will be marked by every major house turning their back on you.
If you have something to say, do so.
If you are to play in the games of the Assembly, make sure you know the motivations of the players. Last spring, a guild from the Merchant caste invested heavily in an expedition with a guild from the surface. Lord Dace backed the Merchant Guild, pouring a great deal of money into the venture. The expedition was a disaster.
I don't see how this relates to anything.
Lord Dace lost a great deal of money and prestige. The Surface Guild has no way to repay the investment, but it does have several leading members who are descended from noble houses. House Helmi, Bimo, Aeducan.
Gorham, can you follow this?
She's saying that if the air-touched dwarves have their connections to their houses restored, you'll end up footing the bill for Lord Dace's disaster.
If I were 20 years younger, I'd bed you just to get some of that quick wit in my house. Your house and mine would be forced to pay the servicers' kin debts. It would be a great victory for Lord Dace.
I feel like standing up for the service is the right thing to do.
The Surface Caste gave up their noble ties willingly, generations ago. Will you humiliate your house and your father for them?
I'll think about it.
Well, don't think too long.
Is anyone else here that we can talk with? Some nobles?
You know your name has been mentioned in the Assembly.
Has it now?
Good day, Lady Aeducan.
Good day.
May the Paragons watch over your command.
Anyone else here?
Congratulations on being named commander, my lady.
Can we perhaps talk with Lord Dace again?
You return. Were my instructions unclear?
I've spoken to Lady Helmi.
And what did she have to say?
She said my house would suffer from your plan.
I see. Some preposterous story, I'm sure.
Your plan would have forced my house to pay service debts?
I suppose it could. I mean, well, it's the spirit of the law that's important, right? Our poor, disenfranchised service brothers. Well played, Your Highness. Welcome to Assembly politics. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Goodbye.
You haven't made a friend here today.
There was a bit of a
Good to see
scam.
you.
My lady.
We go in here, perhaps? Or do we need to talk with the king first? Let's talk with the father first. Here we go.
I am at your... My king, please reconsider. The trade contracts alone could bring great prosperity to our houses.
Will we really turn our back on our brothers and a potential fortune in cheap labor because of a political technicality?
Denial of the traditions of our people does not qualify as a political technicality. There is more to life than monetary gains, my lords Bimo and Mino. The Assembly of Kal Sharok will respect the rule of Orzammar, or they will rot and die alone, surrounded by enemies.
Yes, my king.
But look, we have company to spare us further wrangling. Atrast Vala, my sweet daughter. How fine you look in your grandmother's armor. I hear you were declared champion of the provings. I suppose you were never one to sit by when something exciting was going on. Are you ready to be presented to the heads of the noble houses?
I wonder what that means, the first part. Because I think our brother also said it to us. Of course, father.
So dutiful. Very well, let us begin. Lords, ladies, grant me a moment of your time. We are here today so I may present to you my second eldest child, blessed by the stone and born of the blood that ran in the veins of the paragon Aeducan, who would pose a question to the prospective commander. Who seeks to know the prospect better? No? Very well then. The ritual is complete.
That was
I
easy.
give you Orzammar's next commander. Tomorrow, our newest commander will lead part of a mission to strike a great blow to the Darkspawn. Not only does this recover access to some of our most important mines, but it also allows our honored guest Duncan, head of Ferelden's Grey Wardens, to strike far into the deep roads.
Thank you, King Endrin. While the Darkspawn seem to withdraw, it is only because they are massing on the surface. This could mean a blight, and my men and I will discover the truth.
We are honored to have you with us, my friend. Now, feast, drink, and celebrate, for the morning brings battle! As for you, my new commander, find your brother Trian and send him to me. He may be watching the provings, or getting some rest in his rooms.
Of course, father.
Walk well, commander.
So we got a few new codexes about the Darkspawn as well. Let's look at our journal. So we have to find Trian. Your father, King Endrin, needs to speak to your brother Trian. You are to locate Trian and tell him that your father needs him. Trian is either at the provings or resting in his quarters. Sure, we can do that, but I'm thinking about ending the episode here, and then we can go check out some of the new codexes in the next episode, and go to Trian and says that father wants to speak with him. So see you guys then. Bye!